Hello YouTube, this is Indiana Woods Outdoors and I'm Big Buck Hunter. And today I wanted to talk about a few broadheads that I like using, or the only broadhead I really like using. It is called the Simmons Broadhead. They make, the smallest size head they make is 100 grain. The largest head they make is a 205 grain. They make several in the I think it's 165, 175 size. They do make a 125 grain head as well. The smallest head that they make is this little head here. It's called the Mako. It's got a 50 thousandths main blade, 37 thousandths bleeder blade. The bleeder blade is 3/4 inch. It's 1 1/8 that way. This is a nice little head. I actually bought this for my wife to use, and just trial and error, I just didn't feel that she was getting the penetration that I felt that she would get out of this little head. So I upped her to 190 grain head, which I'll show you the head that I got her using now here in just a minute. This is the only replaceable blade head that Simmons makes. They've got a little set screw right here where you can unscrew that and you can change out the main blade and the bleeder blades as well. Reason why I went to Simmons Broadheads is because, one, they are a USA made company. They use USA steel. It's a one-man operation. The owner's Dave Ology, real good friend of mine, and very Christian man. He's very, very knowledgeable on what arrow to set up with your poundage and the green head that you're shooting. My favorite head that I use, and this is on my compound arrow right now, is this head here. This is called the Tree Shark. It's 190 grain. It's 2 1/4 cut this way, by 2 3/4 long. And if you notice, the arrow is recessed in the broadhead to where you've only got from here to here. That's all you've actually got as your tip, which makes this really, really strong, really sturdy because it's so narrow. And these things fly absolutely phenomenal. I can stack them out to 60 yards. This broadhead in particular, I've actually killed 17 deer with this broadhead and this arrow. There's the blood on the feathers there, and I am sporting the stars and stripes on my feathers on this. I am shooting a Pierce Platinum gold tip in a 250 grain, or a 250 spine, 250 spine shaft. 9.8 grains an inch. This head shaft combo is 587 to 590 grains. They all differ about 3 grains a piece. The next head I'm going to show you is the head I actually got my wife shooting. I shoot this off my recurve. I can shoot it off my compound. It don't make no difference. It also is 190 grains. This one actually killed a doe 2 years ago with my recurve. That is the sexiest head they make, in my opinion. That is a Simmons Interceptor. This is the original Interceptor. They also have a vented version. It's 2 3/4 this way, 1 9/16 this way. It don't matter which head you use with Simmons, it's going to be a devastating wound channel. You can actually see the blood trail from this head on this channel, part 1 and 2, along with the recovery of the deer. The last head I want to show you that Simmons makes that I use is the new flagship broadhead that he came out with this year. It's called the Timber Shark 2. This is a 190 grain head. It is there again recessed. It's 1 3/4 wide, and then there again from end to end you're only talking to 2 3/4 long, but you're only talking about 1 1/4 or whatever because of that arrow's recessed for your power tip there. I have a lot of people ask me why I shoot such a heavy head, and the reason why is because of the momentum factor. And when I talk about momentum factor, there's a point in time on an arrow where your arrow is no longer being pushed by the kinetic energy out of your bow. It's being pulled by the weight of your head. And if you're shooting a really light setup, if you're shooting the 5 grains per pound or 6 or 7 grains per pound, and you're shooting that 100 grain or 85 grain, and I don't understand people shooting an 85 grain head. I'm not saying that it won't kill deer. I'm just saying it's not going to penetrate out to certain yardages. And when I mean by that is I don't shoot a real heavy weight. My recurve's 50-pound pull, my compound's 60. and I'm going to probably drop down to probably 55 next year on my compound, mainly because I'm having major shoulder problems, and hopefully we're going to rectify that next year. But the reason why I shoot such a heavy head is for the penetration factor. When you're looking at momentum, and there's momentum calculators on the internet that you can look up, when you type all that in, how much weight you have out front, and my total weight with insert and collar and everything out front, I've got like 240 grains sitting out front. So whenever you type all that in and you figure out what your total arrow weight is with your grains per inch, and then your fletchings, you know, feathers of course are lighter than vanes. 3 4-inch feathers weigh less than 1 4-inch vane, or even one of the 1.5 inch or 2-inch blazer vanes even. And the reason why I shoot feathers is because they are more forgiving, they are lighter, and personally I think they actually do make the arrow fly better and more true, in my opinion. But the reason why I shoot such a heavy head is because of the penetration. When you get out past 30 yards, you're shooting such a light poundage, you know, which 50 pounds is not light by no means. I don't have to worry about whether or not my arrow is going to penetrate, because I've, you know, shooting this head here out of a 60-pound bow, I've gotten pass-throughs at 50 and 60 yards with it. And I've never had an issue of not having a pass-through. Over the last 25 years, 30 years of deer hunting with archery equipment, I have shot everything from mechanicals to I've shot muzzies, I've shot everything in between, and I tell you what, I just don't care for mechanical broadheads. They're just not my favorite thing to use. We got a mechanical bow, mechanical release, and now we've got, you know, a mechanical head. And when the moment of truth comes down to it, I don't want to wonder or hope that mechanical head does not fail. I don't want that to be in the back of my mind. I have used Rages, I've used Swackers, I've used Spitfires, and I'm just not a mechanical head person. I prefer a fixed blade broadhead. And that's just my own preference. I'm not saying that mechanicals don't work. They do work. I just don't want to have that worry. But when it comes to the momentum, like I said, once you get past that 20 to 30 yard factor, that's whenever that weight of that head actually helps drive it through that animal. I call the momentum factor on this my ping pong golf ball method. At 10 feet, I can throw both of them at you at about the same speed. Both of them's going to hurt, but at 20 feet, which one's going to hurt worse? And it's because that ping pong ball holds that energy longer for over a longer distance. But that's a few of the broadheads that I use. The reason why I use such a heavy head. Now, Simmons does make a 205 grain broadhead called the Safari. I've not used that one yet. Basically because I really like the Tree Shark and that 190 grain platform. All three of those heads shoot exactly identical. I don't have to worry about whether or not I can shoot a Tree Shark, the Interceptor, or the Timber Shark. All three of them off my compound. All three are going to fly the same out to 60 yards, and there's no difference. If you need or would like to see any of the wound channels that these things make, you can go to Simmons Shark's blood trails, or Simmons Shark's wound channels. Just Google it, and I mean, they'll show you just a plethora of pictures that shows you the wound channels on those. Other than that, the only other thing I've got is I bought a new shotgun here recently that's pretty neat. It is an AR 12 gauge by Panzer Arms. This thing is just absolutely phenomenal. Cycles really fast. It's got flip up, sights. It's a shotgun. You really don't need them. But they come with two 5-round magazines. They also make 10-round magazines, which I do have 2 of those as well. And they also make a 20-round drum. I have yet to locate one of those, but it is on my bucket list to add to the arsenal. Very fun gun to shoot. It'll hold 2 3/4 and 3-inch mag shells, and it don't have a whole lot of recoil. It's a really nice gun, but that's the AR-12 by Panzer. None of these companies sponsor me at all. I'm really good friends with Dave Olagy, the owner of Simmons Broadheads. Simmons Broadheads have actually been out for a really long time. I mean, over 50 years. Dave's been making them for, I know, the last 20 or 30. They are made in Stevensville, Montana. They are made with 100% USA steel. They are 100% American made, from the steel to, the shipment. You don't use real flagrant, extravagant packaging. They're just in a little, looks like a cassette tape box for us old enough that knows what a cassette tape is. But they come razor sharp straight out of the box. Like I said, this one here has been through 17 animals, and I've not yet sharpened it. I mean, it's still sharp to the touch. It could probably use a tune-up, but that's a little bit of what I use and why I use it and why I use such a heavy head. Thank you all for watching the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you have any questions on anything, or if you'd like more information about Simmons Broadheads, hit me up and I will get with you as soon as I can. Thank you all. God bless. Have a happy new year.